The academy was designed so that everything the sleepers needed could be found in the same building. Sonny followed the instructions sent to his communicator and quickly found the dormitories, which were situated on one of the lowest levels. To his surprise, he actually got a whole room to himself. The room had a bed with a soft mattress, a table, a dresser, and even a separate bathroom. Given his life in the outskirts, these simple amenities felt luxurious to Sonny. The materials were new and aesthetically pleasing, the air crisp and sterile. It was warm inside, and the outer wall was equipped with a hidden screen that seamlessly imitated a wide window, opening to a picturesque vista of a snowy park. There were even several sets of clothes with the Academy emblem provided to him for free. Sonny was a little stunned. How extravagant. Rationally, he understood that such an arrangement was not really luxurious. However, given all he was used to, what little he had back in his home, this room was like a palace. He scratched his head. Sonny smirked. Looks like I've made it. Sonny glanced around, then winked at his shadow and smiled. I guess we're moving up in the world, huh? The shadow didn't respond, apparently not very impressed. Perhaps it didn't care about such things. Sonny shrugged. Right. What would a stupid shadow know about the finer things in life? Sonny changed into new clothes and then studied himself in the mirror. Then, remembering something, he summoned the runes. He finally had time to study the puppeteer's shroud. His eyes scanned over the runes. Memory, puppeteer's shroud, memory rank, awakened, memory type, armor. Sonny tilted his head to the side. Armor? He hadn't expected that. He returned his attention to the runes. Memory description. A worm of doubt once found its way into a righteous king's heart. With time, the king was devoured from the inside and became its puppet. A lifetime later, the puppeteer worm escaped from the king's dead body, leaving behind a cocoon of black silk. No one knows where it went. However, once people dared to approach the silent castle, they found the silk among the mountains of gnawed bones and fashioned it into armor. Sonny made a sour face. That is not that terrifying. Yeah, I'm not creeped out at all. Come to think of it, the first creature he killed was a larva. If he were to assume that Mountain King was a mature puppeteer worm, and already a tyrant, then what the hell would it transform into after becoming a moth? On second thought, it might be better not to dwell on it. The Mountain King was dead. What it could have become didn't matter. With a sigh, Sonny summoned the puppeteer's shroud. Thin black threads immediately appeared around his body and wrapped it into a set of armor. It was made of dark, gray, soft fabric, with several elements such as bracers and shoulder guards fashioned out of black, lusterless leather. The armor was light, understated, and did not restrain his movements at all. It also made no sound when he moved. Perfect equipment for someone who likes to lurk in the shadows. Sonny smiled. He knew that this armor would be tough to pierce for any creature below the awakened rank, which gave him a great advantage in dealing with all dormant monsters. He also felt a sort of strange, faint calmness while wearing it. He thought about the verbose description of the armor. It had mentioned a worm of doubt. Does that mean the armor had enhanced protection against mental attacks? Somehow, he was sure of it. This was a great trophy. He wouldn't expect anything less from the memory of a powerful tyrant. The only problem was that the puppeteer's shroud was not meant to be worn on top of a full set of clothes. Quite satisfied, Sonny dismissed it and left his room, heading for the cafeteria. Sonny reflected on all the rewards he had received for completing the first nightmare and thought to himself, not bad. Not bad at all. The dining hall turned out to be as lavish as the dormitory. Sonny's wish to taste real meat finally came true. Not only was it freely available to sleepers, But there wasn't even a limit to the amount each of them could eat. More than that, there was rice, bread, various side dishes, sauces, fresh vegetables, fruits, and all kinds of delicious beverages. Sunny steered clear of the coffee and thought, "This is all so extravagant." After building a small mountain of food on his plate, he found an empty seat and, for a while, forgot about the world's existence. As juicy, textured, perfectly seasoned meat filled his mouth, Sunny's vision suddenly was full of stars. He had to hold back an exhilarated moan. And to think, he could have lived like that for a whole year. Damn spell, why didn't you infect me a few months ago? He concentrated on the food, decimating the whole plate in no time. Satiated, and more than a little full, Sunny longingly looked back and thought about getting another serving, but it was already time for his appointment with the academy personnel. Vowing to return, he stood up and left the cafeteria. Soon, he found himself in a small office, sitting across from an administrative worker. The worker was very friendly and started the interview right away. Just like Master Jet had warned him, Sunny was offered psychological counseling again. Remembering her advice, he refused, and the interview smoothly switched to questions about his aspect. He didn't want to give up information about his abilities, but also knew that he had to tell the worker something. Luckily, the questions were worded in a way to put sleepers at ease. As such, most of them started with nice and polite preambles like, "Would you like to tell me?" or "If you are willing to share," which gave Sunny an opportunity to give neutral answers. "Would you mind telling me about the type of aspect ability you received? As in combat, sorcery, utility?" He did mind, but had to be careful. I'm not sure. I haven't had time to understand it well." The administrator nodded and offered a welcoming smile. "That's all right. Are you able to directly deal damage with your ability?" Sunny chose his words carefully. "I guess not. Earlier I wasn't even able to harm a towel." Things went on like that. In the end, Sunny shared just enough information to create an impression that his aspect was weak, harmless, and most likely having something to do with utility. After that, he returned to his room, undressed, and went to sleep. Sunny thought that falling asleep for the first time after a nightmare would be weird, but in fact, it was surprisingly easy. Laying on a soft mattress with his skin against clean bed sheets and a fluffy pillow under his head, he slept like a baby. The next morning, Sunny washed up in his private bathroom and, bursting with energy, hurried to get breakfast in a happy mood. The cafeteria was a bit crowded. After filling his plate with all kinds of delicious stuff, he quickly realized that the only place he could sit was near the blind girl from yesterday. Her table was empty since no one wanted to be close to her. Sunny grimaced. It seemed that the two of them were doomed to be outcasts together for the remaining 4 weeks. He felt a pang of sadness at the fact that this young girl would have such an uphill fight in the dream realm. He had wanted to make friends who could be strong allies, but she was the only person he stood a real chance of cozying up to. Losing his good mood, he sat at the blind girl's table and gave a precursory nod to the social worker who was helping her get around. After that, he tried to pretend that they didn't exist and concentrated on his food. However, before he could finish, a sudden commotion drew his attention.
What's going on?
He looked up and noticed that a lot of sleepers were gathered around the large screen hanging on the wall of the cafeteria, their faces filled with excitement and awe. On the screen, a list of names displayed, ranking the new batch of sleepers from weakest to strongest, most likely deduced from the results of the interviews. Not particularly interested, he quickly found his own name near the bottom of the list. The only sleeper who the academy judged to be less likely to succeed than him was the blind girl. Turns out, her name was Cassia. But the commotion was a bit too loud to be just the result of the ranking. Curious, he moved his gaze up. The sleepers were restless. A series of baffled voices rose from the crowd.
How? How can this be?
I'm not seeing things right. Castor was only placed in second place. The cafeteria was scandalized. Everyone expected a legacy like Castor to be at the very top, but above him, there was a portrait of the silver-haired girl Sunny first noticed upon arrival. To the right of the picture, 2 simple lines of text were displayed. Name, Nephis. True name, Changing Star. Sunny was floored to learn the seemingly calm and collected young woman was the most powerful among them.
Who was she?
He turned to scan the room but couldn't find her. He needed to know more about this Nephis, and fast.
Hey amazing viewers, it's Sunny here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 8% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 92% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.